Hello, everyone. I am so excited you are here. Today, we are talking about Facebook groups. This is my favorite topic. If any of you have caught my last lives, I love talking about Facebook groups. I love helping you build systems that create leads. And I think Facebook groups is the best way to do that. So I'm so glad you're here. This is Mompreneurs to Millionaires. This is today's free training. And what I love about these free trainings is that we can take away things that will move our business, right? So definitely be thinking about what things you can do to gain momentum for the end of the year. I'm so excited about quarter four. It is going to be awesome. So I hope you're in that same mode and ready to make moves in your business. So tell me below if you are watching on the live, just type live, or if you're watching on the replay, just say replay below. I'd love to know who's coming in the day of and who's coming in a little bit later. So let me know where you're at. All right, so Facebook groups. Today we are going to talk about why you need a Facebook group. So if you're on the fence of whether or not should I have a Facebook group, or I had one and it's dead, or I started one a while ago but it didn't seem to work, or wherever you're at, right? Tell me below, do you have a Facebook group or have you thought about one? I'd love to hear kind of where people are at. So we're going to talk about why I think it's a great idea, right? Why I think it's the #1 lead generator for coaches today, for businesses. Really, I think it can work for most businesses, especially service providers, especially coaches. And then we're also going to talk about how to grow that Facebook group, as well as how to get people engaged, right? It is one thing to get a whole bunch of people into a group, but to get them talking, right? Get them responding, get them engaging. That's a whole other animal, right? So we're going to talk about both of those things, how to grow it, as well as how to get it moving, get movement in your group, get it engaging, right? That is really the goal. And then I'm going to tell you about my masterclass. I'm so excited. If any of you have seen, I've got a 3-day masterclass coming up on Monday. Let's see, what is the date? I'll just really check here. Monday the 10th, right? So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. And I'm so excited. It is a 3-day event, and we're going to talk all about lots of these similar topics, right? We're going to really dive deep into how to grow your Facebook group and how to get it engaging. But more so, my big mission is to get sexy systems in your business, right? So often we don't like to talk about systems as being exciting or lighting you up, but that is my goal, because if you have a system that lights you up, you are going to do it every day, right? If you have a system that is working, you're going to do it every day, right? So that is the goal, to get a system that gets you excited every morning and is effective in getting you leads and getting you new clients. So that is my goal. We're going to talk all about that in my masterclass. So I'll tell you more about that. All right, so thank you to everyone who voted. Every week I put out a poll in my Facebook group on what topics we should talk about for our business. I would love to hear if you have any suggestions for future topics. Feel free to drop those below. Otherwise, you can vote on that poll. I put out some topics that I feel like keep coming up for my clients, or topics that I think are, always kind of questions for businesses. But I would love to hear from you. What burning questions do you have for your business, or where do you feel stuck? Where do you feel like it's really hard, or you're feeling resistance in your business, right? Let's talk about it. So thanks so much to everyone who voted today. Today's topic obviously is Facebook groups. So that really resonated, right? Obviously that's still a question for a lot of people. And so whether that's, do I need a Facebook group and how do I get it moving, right? So that's what we're really going to talk about today. So I always like to invite you. I know you are a go-getter, right? If you are here, you are an action taker. You are ready to get new information and move your business forward, right? You are a go-getter. You are resourceful. So I always like to invite you to put on that abundant mindset, right? Put on that mindset hat of feeling like that all things are possible. To me, abundance is all things are possible, and you have the power to change, right? You are in control of your destiny. You are in control of being the co-creator in your life, right? That is really the goal. So I want you to really think about, what 2 things can you write down today from this video that are going to help move your business forward. So whether that's a new idea that you hadn't thought of, whether that is an aha moment, I would love to hear, right? So as things are coming up, feel free to comment below with those 2 action items that you take away from today. right? You can download all the free material in the world. You can download a course or, all the DIY pieces. But if you're not willing to make some changes, open your mind to new ideas, and move your business forward, learn from the people who have made all those mistakes, then it's hard to move your business forward, right? So definitely write down 2 things from today's video that is your takeaway, right? I would love to hear. Feel free to share, or if you want to message me privately, right? You can always send them to me. I'd love to hear what you take away from these videos. Hopefully it's some good stuff. All right. So, and that is my goal, right? With my group and any clients that I help, it is all about we rise together, right? I really want to build momentum and a movement, right? I really want movement in our community. I want us all to grow. I want us all to rise together. That is my big goal in life. So I'm so glad you're here, and we are going to rise together. I'm claiming it. All right, so if you are new here, my name is Christina, and I have been really, I feel like an entrepreneur forever. For the last over a decade. I started my first little Etsy shop business back in 2010, right? So that was a while ago, over 15 years ago. And the first lesson I always say I learned was, if you build it, they don't just come, right? People didn't just show up to my Etsy shop. What a shocker, right? So that was lesson number 1. And fast forward to 2014, my husband and I opened a cute little bike shop, coffee shop. It was a local place here in town, a brick and mortar store. And man, what lessons we learned from that, right? So again, smacked in the face with that lesson that if you build it, right? If you build the perfect bike shop, if you build the perfect ambiance for the coffee shop, have the greatest coffee in the world, people don't just show up. Right? You have to give them a reason, and you have to, I would say, go to them. So that is always my message, is go where your audience is, right? Whether that is, if they're on Facebook, you definitely want to be on Facebook, right? If they're on Instagram, you should probably think about being on Instagram, but you definitely want to go to them. I think as business owners, we often get caught in this posting and hoping, right? I'm just going to put up my social media profiles and hope it lands on the right ears, hope the right people message me, hope people reach out to me, right? And I don't know about you guys, right? That is a long wait. I wasted years in that mode, just kind of posting and hoping, right? So at the bike shop, we really quickly learned we have to go to our audience. And we did this in a lot of creative ways, right? We did a lot of different marketing tactics. We had to, right? We had to learn by fire. So I love like a good freebie, right? We would go to different local events and have lots of local ideas, right? If you're a local business, feel free to tell me below. I would love to send you more local ideas on really how to get out in your community and get more eyeballs to your business, because it takes some effort, right? And there's a lot of things that are not helpful that are offered to you probably as a local business, and there are a lot of things that are helpful. So of course I would love to have you learn from my mistakes so that you don't have to make those same mistakes. So if you have a local business, definitely let me know. But one of the things that really helped us at the bike shop was our community is really heavy into Facebook groups, right? You probably have a Facebook group for your neighborhood, your town, your city, many of those communities, right? So what we learned here is that a Facebook group was the easiest way to grow a community for our bike shop, coffee shop. It was great, right? It was one of the best, I think, decisions we made for our business. Had I known what I know now, right? I really would have used that Facebook group to our advantage, right? Growing my email list, getting qualified people in, and having people warm up to our services and products. So that is really the goal, I think, of the Facebook group. But again, I got that message loud and clear that the Facebook group was so valuable to that business. Sadly, we closed after just a couple of years. If any of you have, right, had to close a brick and mortar, it is a heartbreak, but such a lesson, right? And I am so thankful that we went through that in order to be here now, right? I'm so glad that it was, and I'm so glad that it is over, right? So what a powerful lesson. So I take with that I've turned it into my mission, really. I turned it into wanting to help other, especially women business owners. I didn't want another women business owner to have to do this on her own, right? I feel like if we all have access to the right information, the right tools, the right knowledge, we all rise together, right? So that is really my mission now, is to help other women business owners not have to go through all of those heartaches that I did, right? Of course, that's the transformation that we all want to share. what we went through to make sure no one else has to go through that, right? I want to make it easier for you. So that is really my goal. So with that bike shop closing, right, I started helping other women business owners. So I've really been helping other business owners really for the last 10 years. And I feel like it is time for us all to take control of our business and take action, right? Let go of that fear. Of course, there's always going to be fear in your journey, but let go of that needing to control every aspect, right? I really think that is the hard part. The biggest lesson that I have learned after the bike shop is that if you want to be a coach, definitely you want to use other coaches, right? Most successful coaches, if you want to fast track your business, definitely hiring a coach is the way to do that, because you can, again, do it all DIY all day long, right? If you feel like you're not ready, I'm just going to do some free material first. I'm just going to try it on my own first. That is great. I can vouch for that. That could take years, right? It took me years before I thought, okay, I'm ready for a coach. And had I just hired a coach earlier, I would be so much further in my business. So I really wish I had done that. But the easiest thing, I think, to get leads every single day is that Facebook group, right? So that's why you're here. That's what we're going to talk about. So with that, right, with the closing of the bike shop, I wish I had remembered that lesson about the Facebook group. And again, this took me many years to come back around to that Facebook group being such a valuable tool to gather leads, right? I call it the perfect sales funnel, right? It is the best way to capture your audience. You probably notice over on your social media profiles, right, that it is really hard to get people to take action, right? And you have zero control over your followers over on Instagram, your personal profile on Facebook, your business page on Facebook, even on LinkedIn, right? You really have no control over who follows you. Of course, you can follow your target audience and hope that they will follow you back. And those are great ways to kind of build an audience. But again, it's really hard to get them to take action. So that is where I think the Facebook group is the perfect sales funnel. And the best part of the Facebook group is to qualify those leads. So again, you have no control over who follows you over on your social media profiles. You could get spammers, right? You can get people who have just started their Facebook account yesterday, right? Like you have no control over who's following you or their intentions, right? Are they just following you because they like your colors or because they want to sell you? Right? So that way with the Facebook group, it really takes it to another level. It allows you to qualify your leads. So, and the best way to do that is with those 3 entry questions. So if you are thinking about setting up your Facebook group or you're on the fence about whether you need one, definitely feel free to say so below. If you want to, I have a free guide that is all about growing your Facebook group, and it talks all about setting up your Facebook group. So if that's something you're interested in, just say guide below. I'm happy to send that your way, because those 3 questions, those entry questions, are really the key to qualifying your leads. So definitely I would love to help you work through those qualifying questions if that's something that you feel like people aren't answering your questions, or if you don't feel like you're getting the right people into your group. Those are really crucial. Okay, so you are here for Facebook group, right? The why. So we talked a little bit about the why. So now let's talk about how to grow it. I'm going to share with you 3 easy ways to grow your Facebook group today. You could get started today. So if you feel like you either started a Facebook group and it's just been kind of slow going, not many people are entering your Facebook group, here are some easy ways, quick ways to get people into your group. So the first one I always say is invite your friends, right? Be aware, I say that with a caveat, right? If you invite your friends to your Facebook group, they may not get those entry questions. But most of your friends, you probably have at least 50 friends, right, who would love to support you. Granted, I don't know about you, I have learned that family and friends probably don't understand what you do, and they probably don't know how to support you, right? So it's okay if they don't want to join, or they don't join if you invite them. But for sure, you probably have 50 friends that are in your target audience that would love to support you. So that is a great way to kind of reinvigorate your group, really get some more momentum, especially if you're, under 100 people in your group and it's just been kind of stagnant for a while, right? That's a really great way to get new bodies into your group and kind of build up your system. So definitely, I think inviting friends is a great way to get your group growing again. So the second thing that I think is really valuable for your Facebook group is to use other Facebook groups, right? Many of you are probably, right, you're in my Facebook group, you're probably in many other Facebook groups. And so using those to your advantage is a great way to get people from there over to your Facebook group. And this can be done a number of different ways. But one of my favorites is to give some type of value, right? So if you are looking for, wellness coaches, if you are looking for parents, definitely think about being in some of those wellness groups, other Facebook groups, as well as parenting Facebook groups, right? Whoever your target audience is, what I love about thinking about other Facebook groups is it really gets you in the mindset of your target audience. So you definitely want to think about who is this person, right? Where does she hang out? What type of Facebook groups is she wanting to be in? And those are the groups that you want to get in, right? And so many groups don't allow promotion, and that's okay, right? You can still just be a genuine human in those groups. You definitely want to check out the comments, right? Who's commenting? If there's a question that's being asked, what are people talking about, right? Is there some type of value that you can give for free to be like, hey, if someone's struggling with putting their kid to sleep at night, right? Maybe you have a quick tip. If someone, is on a health journey and you have just a quick motivational, something that you've learned. Just a quick little, hey, I saw that you answered this, blah, 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 blah. If you feel like they're really in your target audience and it's allowed, that would be another step to, you could friend that person. You could ask them if it's okay to send a DM to them, right? And that would be another way to build that beautiful relationship, right? Often I feel like as business owners, we get stuck in this content cycle, right? Content, content, content. What I would love for you is to get out of that content cycle, right? Posting and hoping is such a hard cycle to be in. If no one is seeing your posts, the answer is not more posting, right? Content is not king. I want content to be secondary for you so that you can work on building those relationships. I think building relationships is far more important than content and far more effective in getting actual clients. So if content can be automated, right? It's still important to have content, right? We have to post. It's still important to post on your other social media profiles, but I think it is far more about having a placeholder outside of your Facebook group, right? I think that content outside of your Facebook group is more just like a here I am if someone's searching. But you don't want to put all your eggs in that basket, right? Of just kind of posting out here and hoping it lands on the right ears. That is devastating if no one sees it, right? What a waste of time. So definitely having your Facebook group, I think, is such a valuable tool, and getting the right engagement in your Facebook group. And I really think that is different content, right? We talked last week about the 2 different types of content. You really want content inside your group to be much more about your audience. Asking them questions, getting them engaged, that is really the key to getting people into your Facebook group and getting them engaged and warmed up to your services and products, right? You want to get them talking with each other. So that's really the goal with your Facebook group, is you want to start building those relationships, right? Ask them questions. How are they responding to your services, to your words, right? What's resonating with them? And what I love about the Facebook groups, right, is that you can do a poll. They're like, I always say, your perfect little petri dish, right? They are the perfect little place for you to do a little bit of market research with your target audience, right? You could do market research over on your social media profiles, but if it's not your target audience and you haven't controlled the quality of people that are following you, then it's not really great feedback, right, for your business. You really want to get your target audience into your Facebook group and then be able to ask them questions. Is this resonating with you? I'm thinking about offering this new service, right? Do a poll, ask some questions. So there's some great ways to get actual feedback from your target audience. So it's the perfect little petri dish, I say, right, of market research. So definitely those are some ways to really think about your content as different, right? I really think content should be secondary because you want to be building those relationships. So we were talking about, right, that number 2 tip is using other Facebook groups. So definitely being a genuine human being over there in other Facebook groups, but also figuring out when you can promote, right? So if you're in more of the support type groups for, wellness journeys or parenting or whatever that looks like for your niche, that's great to be in those groups, but also you want to probably be in some generic mompreneur groups where you can promote, right? You want to see who else is out there and be able to get your message out there. So it's great to be a genuine human and be able to respond and answer questions in some of those other support groups and build those relationships, but definitely you also want to be able to get your message out. So being able to share your Facebook group, right, in other Facebook groups is really the key. And I see this so much. What I love about the Facebook group is it allows you to focus on one thing, right? Have any of you seen one of those promote below posts and you're like, well, I've got this freebie, I could do this today. I've got this Instagram, I'm really trying to grow that. Oh, today I'm kind of over on TikTok, I'd like to grow that, right? We can really feel very disconnected, and sometimes we don't know what to post, right? We don't, or it can be a bunch of different things. What I love about the Facebook group is if you just wake up every day and focus on, okay, all I have to do is get people to my Facebook group. That's your number one goal, right? So whether I'm in other Facebook groups, whether I'm over on Instagram, whether I'm over on TikTok, my number one goal is to get people into my Facebook group. That way I can just focus on that because it's my sales funnel, right? I have my entry questions set up. It's where I warm people up. I have a whole system of building and growing and getting the right leads into that Facebook group. So wherever you're at over on other Facebook groups, that's your number one goal, is just to get people over to your Facebook group. So, and this can be, right, we can talk about other Facebook groups all day. You really, not all Facebook groups are created equal, right? You really want to check out the quality of Facebook groups that you are in other Facebook groups. There could be 200,000 people in a Facebook group, but if it is not, if you look at the comments, no one is engaging with those posts, right? I would call that a spammy Facebook group. And it might not be effective for you to post about your business there, right? If no one is responding to any of those posts, that is just a spammy Facebook group where everyone gets to post about their business, but no one is responding to those posts. So you definitely want to be more strategic about which Facebook groups you join and which Facebook groups you promote in, right? You want it to be an engaging group. You want it to be a group full of your target audience. You definitely want to see people engaging, right? And make sure that it's a healthy, active, right? Active Facebook group full of your perfect ideal clients. So that's really the goal. So that was number 2 tip. And then our final tip, this is one of my favorite tips, is using the DMs, right? Like I said, if you want to reach your audience, it is not enough to be passive, right? I always say you have to go to your audience. You have to go to them, right? It wasn't enough to build the bike shop and just wait, right? It's not enough to build a social media profile and just wait. It's also not enough just to create a Facebook group and just wait for people to show up, right? You have to go to them. You have to invite people. You have to build those relationships. You have to go to other Facebook groups. So my favorite method of getting people into your Facebook group is using the DMs. And I kind of think that Instagram is far easier to use the DMs, right? Tell me below if you agree. Do you think Messenger is easier or Instagram DMs? I really find, right, that the DMs over on Instagram is easier to get people to respond. It's easier to, I think, break through some of those filters. I think love it, right? Love it or hate it. I think Messenger is great at protecting your privacy. And I love that, right, for all of us, and protecting you against spammers. But it is also hard to get in the right inbox, right? So it can be often hard to get people to see your message, even if they're interested in your stuff, right? I see this all day long, right? People are like, yes, I want your freebie, and I send it to them and they never see it, right? And so that's on me to follow up, right? Is to figure out how to get them to see that, that message. But over on Instagram, it's much easier. So I think that is my tip number 3, is to get in the DMs. So Instagram is a great place. I call this the secret sauce, right? Is building this cross-platform approach, is to really get people over on Instagram. And I've said this before, right? Instagram is the least clickable, right? Do you agree? Instagram, in the last 10 years that I've been helping businesses, it is the least clickable out of all the social media platforms, right? I mean, think about, right? The only place is in that profile. That's the only clickable place. Also the stories, right? You can obviously add a link to your story and then save it in the highlights, which is a great tactic. But most people are not clicking on Instagram, right? Unfortunately, it is just not clickable. People are scrolling through their feed, right? That's mostly what people are doing, even on Facebook, right? Even though links are clickable on Facebook, people are still mostly spending time in their feed. So you've really got to stand out, and you're really at the mercy of that algorithm, right? Is getting in their feed. So the great way over on Instagram is to find your target audience, follow them. Hopefully they will follow you back and respond, especially if they are commenting on your stuff. That is a great invitation, I think, to send them a DM and say, hey, I saw that you liked my post on this, blah, blah, blah. I'd love to have, we're talking more about that over in my Facebook group. I'd love to have you. Right? I think that is a really smooth transition. I would not call that a cold, spammy DM, right? None of us want to be spammy, right? We're all trying to figure out how to be that aligned salesperson. And I think that is a beautiful place for all women, right? I don't know if you were told saleswomen or women are not great at sales. I think that is such a lie. We've been told. I think all women are great at sales. We just have to find an aligned place that feels good to us, right? We are empathetic by nature. And so I think we are really good at sales, at reaching our audience and empathizing with where they are and meeting them where they're at, right? I think we're really good at that. And so figuring out a way that feels good to you. And that's where I feel like that DM is really neutral by inviting them to your Facebook group, right? You're not even asking them to sign up for anything. You're not asking them to click your link over to your unknown website, right? You're just saying, hey, I've got this Facebook group. Most people are already in Facebook groups. It's a very low commitment level, right? I think it's a beautiful way to invite people to your Facebook group. It's really neutral. It's not asking them to buy anything. It's not asking them to sign up for anything, but you get them over to your Facebook group. And even if they don't answer your entry questions, right, you can still check out their profile, decide if they are someone that you want in your Facebook group, and maybe they can still warm up to your stuff inside your Facebook group, right? That's the whole idea. So you could still let people in even if they don't answer your questions, or you can always follow up with them and be like, hey, so glad you decided to join my Facebook group. Where are you at in your health journey? Or, how's your business going? Or whatever you want to start that conversation. But definitely starting conversations, I think, is the key. So using other platforms and getting in the DMs. You can do this with Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. I think getting everyone to your Facebook group, I think, is the best way to get qualified leads every single day. Really using it like your sales funnel. That's really what I think is the best way to do that. All right, so tell me below, did this resonate? What 2 things did I say today that you're gonna try and move your business forward? I would love to hear. I'm so excited, like I said, about my new masterclass. So I would love to invite you to my masterclass. I have a workbook that is 30 days of engagement, right? So it is a great way of asking the right questions, right? Building that content schedule, right? For it to be more automated and secondary. Like I said, I want your content. I just scheduled all my content for November, right? I really want your content to be secondary so that you can wake up every day and focus on building those relationships, focus on sending the DMs, focus on finding your people, right? Being of service to people one-on-one. That is really what is going to get you more clients and building those relationships. Your beautiful, pretty content is probably not going to be as effective as you're hoping, right? Unfortunately. So building that binder of questions, that portfolio of questions is really, I think, what's going to be the key. So I have a workbook that is designed to help you figure out these questions. There are 40 plug and play questions that you can use in just about every Facebook group, as well as I added 30 bonus questions that you can use in your Facebook group. So if you are interested in that, just say workbook below. And what I'm so excited is I'm offering everyone who buys the workbook, I am inviting you free access to my masterclass. Next week, I'm doing a 3-day masterclass on how to get your leads into a system that is working for you. So I'm on a mission of building sexy systems, right? I want to build sexy systems for you so that it lights you up every single day, right? If it's not sexy, you're not going to do it, right? If it's not effective, you're not going to do it. And the best way to be consistent is to have a system that builds a habit that lights you up and gets you results. That is the goal. So that is the goal of the masterclass. I'm calling it a Momentum Masterclass because we're getting right to the end of the year. Let's build momentum before the end of the year, before 2026. Let's get your business going, moving forward. That is the goal of this masterclass. So I'm so excited. Everyone who buys that workbook, feel free to say workbook below, gets into that masterclass for free. There's also an option to, if you don't want the workbook, you can just get into the masterclass. So feel free to just say masterclass below. But what I want to leave you with, right, is that you can have all the free material in the world, right? But if you are waiting to take action, you may be stuck waiting and you may be wasting money and time, right? Don't waste years like I did. I spent years kind of posting and hoping and waiting, right? And it is really, I think, the best thing for your business to move forward is to be ready, right? Even be ready before you're ready. Just take action. It is far scarier, I think, to stay stuck than to take that messy action, than to start something new that is out of your comfort zone, right? Growth does not happen in your comfort zone. You've really got to step out and be ready to take action to move your business forward. So that is really what I think is helpful, right? I think the best part of coaching also is that it gives you accountability, right? If you don't know the next step in your business, or you may have tried a bunch of free stuff but got pulled in a bunch of different directions, you are not taking focused action, right? You might be trying this one day, trying this another day, and that's really gonna spread you thin and burn you out really quickly, right? So the best way to, I think, have an accountability partner is to stay on task, right? Get you focused on the things that they know work and get you focused on that strategy and that system. So if you're at all feeling stuck in your business and you're ready for some strategy that actually moves your business forward, just say strategy below. I always offer a free social media audit, so just a one-on-one check at what's going on in your systems, whether it's your Facebook group, your Instagram, or your website. I would love to take a look at your system and give you a comprehensive idea on how to get all those pieces working together. So that's for free. If that's something that's interesting to you, just feel free to say strategy below, because I always want to encourage you to learn from the people who have gone before you, right? Don't make the same mistakes I did. Learn from me and learn from those of us who have gone before you. That is the quickest way to move your business forward and get to success, right? Success does not happen in DIY over and over, unfocused, different things, trying different strategies every single week, right? It is going to happen in the focused action of a strategy that has already been proven, right? That is really what's going to move your business forward. All right, I think that is it for today. I always like to say too that mindset is everything, right? So I invited you to put on your mindset hat. Definitely think about what is holding you back in your business. If you feel like you are kind of hemming and hawing about what's next in your business, that is a great time to hire an accountability partner to help move your business forward and give you that one-on-one strategy that is going to help you make moves, right? Get momentum going. I would love to help you do that if that's something you're interested in. Again, you can just say strategy below. But I'm so excited about this masterclass. If you're interested in that, or if you're interested in the workbook, feel free to say workbook below. I would love to help you out and get your business ready for 2026. That is my goal. We are all going to build sexy systems that light us up and gain momentum for the end of the year. Awesome. Thanks so much for sticking around.